Can being in the wrong job or career ruin your life? Absolutely, and I'm going to explain why. When I left college when I was 18, I was working in a bar, and I always used to hate working Friday nights because everyone always seemed really aggressive. It was like everyone had just finished work, and by 7 o'clock the bar would be heaving, and you see people down in pints, getting on the old Jager bombs and going crazy and really getting obliterated. And Saturday nights were always a little bit better. Everyone seemed a little bit more relaxed and it was a bit more friendly. But it made me realise, a lot of people don't like their jobs, and a lot of people fall into the wrong jobs. They get stuck in the wrong career because they leave home, they get married or they have children, and they, can't afford to go to university or retrain or do anything else. Now, when I worked as a chef, when I trained to be a chef, and I left college, I absolutely hated it. I knew I'd made a big mistake, but I kind of got trapped in it. And I did try to get other jobs, but because I didn't have any computer skills, or I didn't there's nothing else I was really qualified to do, I found it very hard trying to get something else. I did eventually change careers when I was about 27, 28. I got a job as cabin crew, and it was totally the best thing I ever did. But when you're in a job that you really dislike and you have to drink heavily, I'm not saying don't go out and have fun. I'm not saying don't enjoy yourself. Don't go out with your friends or anything like that. It's totally up to you what you do. But I'd see the way some people used alcohol as a crutch, and they'd use it to try and cope with stress or other things they were dealing with in their life. And when you're in a job you really dislike, and you have to look for other things for escapism, that is when you're not in the right place. Don't get me wrong, no job is perfect. You're going to have bad days in any job, whatever job you do. No matter how well it pays, or how nice the people are, you're going to have, times where you dislike it, and there's going to be occasions where you're not going to like going in. But when you really, really hate it, I do believe it is going to very negatively impact your life. Your whole life's going to be affected because you're not going to enjoy what free time you have. And, luckily nowadays it is easier to change careers because, you've got Open University, you've got online courses you can do. There are a lot more options, than when I was in catering 20 odd years ago. But if you are in a job that you dislike, I really urge you to change it, because I wasted 11 years in a career that I knew kind of from day one that I wasn't right for. But I stayed in it. It got to the point I was too scared to do anything else, and I've always regretted that. But I did change careers. I was in my 20s. It's not like I never changed careers, and it's not like I got to 50 and then decided to do it. I did still do it while I was reasonably young, which is a good thing. But if you're not happy in your job, your whole life will be affected. And I just think, there's so much, obviously the cost of living's harder now. People are often working 2 jobs, and, life, I feel, is more stressful. So, you really have to think about, your long-term future. Because, when I was at school, there was never any information about what jobs actually paid. If I'd known how bad the money was in catering, I would never have gone near it. I would have chosen something else. There was never any information about the pay scale, career progression, pay structure. And I think, if schools taught this and taught people, more about the job, like how much they'd be earning and, what their actual career prospects were, I think that would make, teenagers make a lot better informed decisions. So, yeah, if you're not happy in your job, I really beg you to change it and do something else, because, I wasted far too long in a job I wasn't, right for. And you've got to think, if it's a very low paid job and you're going to struggle supporting yourself, you may then have to rely on someone else, financially, which isn't a good thing. So there are a lot of options out there. I did it, I managed to change careers, and if I can, believe me, anyone can. So yeah, have a look around what's out there and decide what's for you.